Hi there, Massy here, coach, strategist and author of a few books, the most recent being The Successful Mind, but I'm about 90% through the first draft of my latest book, Decision Making Mastery. So that's been a fascinating thing as I observe things in 2020 and see lots of atrocious decision making. It's given me great material to work from. So welcome to Life Masterclass. Thank you for joining me for this episode, coming to you all the way from beautiful Bali. Weather report in Bali, gorgeous day, a few clouds around, sunny, beautiful light breeze. And once the borders open up to Bali, you'll get to experience it in real time, but until then you'll just have to hear it through me. So the Life Masterclass podcast is all about providing practical tips, tools and strategies to help you elevate your level of happiness, well-being, vitality, vibration, wealth, success, and anything else that you want to add into that mix. I'm very much about keeping it as practical as possible. So today is a self-coaching process that I'm going to talk about. Simple process, but probably one of the most effective things that I work with my coaching clients on. And it's based on one of my core beliefs. And this core belief I've established over the course of my 51 years. And the belief is this, that life is for us and not against us. And everything that happens in our life is an opportunity to learn and grow. And if you look at some of the psychology, so there's psychology that talks about post-traumatic stress disorder, and maybe you've heard of that before, PTSD. But there's also an element of that which talks about, or another side of that same coin, which is post-traumatic growth. So there's an opportunity from an experience to either grow through the experience or have a negative experience and maybe feel the negative emotions of that and maybe be left with some sort of trauma that needs work to overcome and to process. So I'm very much about how can we drive this curve up into post-traumatic growth in each and every moment. So that's what I want to share with you today and encourage you to do today. And like I said, it's one of the key things I work with my clients on. When we start working, I want to know what's happened through their past, and I want to know whether they've used that experience in their past to help with their evolution. What do I mean by that? So if something happens and it might be uncomfortable, maybe there's a relationship breakup, maybe you get fired from work, maybe you have a business that fails, maybe a family relationship issue, maybe you have a major injury, so many things that we sort of put in the category of negative events. And what we tend to do is when we have those experiences, we tend to, because they're uncomfortable, we tend to want to get away from those as quickly as possible. And we sort of want to wedge a bit of time in between that, and like maybe we distract ourselves with different things so we don't have to deal with that thing, and we want to sort of scarper away. What I've found with about 97.3% of my coaching clients is they haven't taken the time to fully understand the lessons from that particular experience, so they don't get the benefit of all the growth opportunity within that. So within an experience, within the quagmire of it, there's these beautiful golden nuggets, these beautiful nuggets of understanding that we can take forward that become knowledge, or they become experience, and they add to our wisdom. And with the infusion of consciousness into our wisdom, we make these great choices and we co-create the destiny of our choosing, the one we most desire. So the self-coaching technique is to have a look at some of the past negative events in your life and look at doing an analysis, an audit of them, to try and understand what you learnt from those experiences or what you could learn from those experiences that might serve you in the future. So if you have a relationship breakdown, like what was it that you contributed to that process? What did you do? What didn't you do? How could you have done things differently? But really go into that. And here's the key thing with going into this process, doing this self-coaching. If you go in with a judgmental, a closed mind, an over-emotional sense of being, as you go into that process, you aren't going to see all of those nuggets of goodness that you can take away. You need to go in with a curious mind. And I've talked about this in previous podcasts, about the importance of a curious mind. And a curious mind keeps us up in the prefrontal lobes, frontal cortex of our brain. When we get curious, there's like this blood flow and this oxygen flow to the frontal lobes of our brain, which sort of illuminates and causes us to have this broad perspective. Exactly what we want to have when we're coming in to audit something. We want to come in and audit those negative events in our lives as if we're like a consultant who's been paid a ridiculous sum of money to come in, who has no, invested interest in whatever happened in the past. Their invested interest is, what can we take from the past to take this company to the next level? For yourself, what can I take from this experience that I can use to take my life to the next level? And this, I think, has been one of the things that's helped me have the measure of success I've had in different areas and aspects of my life. I'm always curious about learning from these past experiences, and I'm comfortable sitting in the discomfort. So there's a few things there. We need to be okay with being uncomfortable. We need to put ourselves in that elevated state and look through a lens of curiosity. And then we just need to look at those things in our past and really with a curious eye and mind on what can I take out of this experience that is going to help me in the future to grow and evolve. So there you go. I encourage you to do that. And again, I've talked about this before. It really is a powerful self-coaching technique. So I encourage you to do it. Any negative events, go through them, see if you can find the gold from that. And the aim is, how can I use that piece of information to elevate my life, my experience, and my evolutionary path in the future? Makes sense? If you've got any questions about that, or you want to get clear of my angles and my philosophies on that, don't hesitate to reach out to me. And if you'd like to work with me at any point in a coaching capacity, feel free to get in touch, grab a copy of my book, get a sense of where my philosophies are at. If this was useful for you, and if you think this would be useful for someone else to help them move through a particular experience in life, I'd be very grateful for you to pass it on, and I imagine they'll be ultimately grateful as well. So thank you very much for your time today. It's wonderful connecting to you wherever you are on this gorgeous, incredible, beautiful planet of ours. Have an absolutely fantastic day and take care.